This week we have built a DIY composting outhouse, complete with a solar-powered ventilation system, a full-width skylight, and a rainwater collection system for the hand washing station. The best part of all is that it sits on a stone terrace with the most incredible optional view. If you're new around here, I'm Heather, this is my husband Brady, and we are currently renovating this historic property in the mountains of northern Italy with our two daughters, Alexa and Chloe. For now, we mostly have been working on infrastructure projects, such as our outdoor kitchen and a fenced playground for the kids to play. But this week, we built our own high-tech composting outhouse that the kids lovingly refer to as
the Poop-O-Matic 3000.
This morning, I finally finished the fence, which I'm very pleased with how it turned out, but if I don't have to do another fence for quite a long time, I will be even more pleased. So now that the fence is finished, we need to do one other big infrastructure project, as we've been calling them. We've been here for a long time and we have not set up a proper toilet. So today we are building a DIY composting outhouse.
The last few weeks we've had company and a lot of excitement going on, and I think we're all just kind of coming off of that high this week. So we are a bit off, but we are excited to get something done on the property that's going to have such a huge impact on our time here. It really is an important feature to have a working toilet on the property, so it's really going to be a game changer for us.
Well, I think the little bathroom here is starting to take shape. What are we calling it, Alexa?
The Poop-O-Matic 3000.
This is, as the girls have requested, the Poop-O-Matic 3000. Alexa, will you help me put up the walls?
Yep.
Okay.
So how are we going to make the door?
The door we probably won't make until tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, you can do the rest. Let me just get it even.
Is it good?
I'll tell you when. All right, go ahead.
Yep.
Gotta push in a little stronger. Get it nice in there and push hard. Perfect. And then just when it starts going in, then you stop, okay? So what if we put them like this?
I like that.
I like that too. Definitely a fascinating place to place a composting toilet with this view over the hill. This, of course, is just going to be somewhat temporary for the next year or so as we're building the house. It's going to be at least a year before we have a flushing toilet inside of the stone house. So clearly we need a better setup than the current setup, which is simply a shovel.
Do you need help? I can give you screws.
Yes.
And my job is to make sure this big thing doesn't fall down. Hello, I'm sorry, camera. Was I walking over my butt? How does it feel when you scrunch your nose like this? Feels weird. Yeah.
So things are starting to take shape pretty quickly. I'm actually taking a little bit of inspiration from this building that I saw in Switzerland. They ran the tongue and groove flooring vertically, and then they ended up doing the Japanese style wood burning that I love so much. So I don't really want to call this an outhouse because that has all kinds of negative connotations with it, kind of gross. It's going to be we'll call it a high-tech composting outdoor toilet. It's not going to be like a hole in the ground, because that's what everyone kind of envisions with an outhouse. This is going to be more sophisticated. It'll be a bucket with a fan to mitigate fumes and a proper composting system. If you guys just started following us recently, we actually did a small stint in a van. We had a composting toilet in our van that we converted ourselves. And they sell them and advertise them as composting toilets, but they're not. In reality, they are it's just a storage container for you to empty later on. This will actually be a proper composting setup to where, I don't know, it's kind of a gross video. Kind of a gross thing to talk about. It's going to be like, in the end, it's going to turn to dirt. You're going to end up having this big bucket of dirt that you can mulch around trees stuff with. Living off grid is very disgusting.
So one of the reasons that we wanted to put this outhouse right here is because of the incredible view. Now, I'm not sure if we're gonna have a window in there or something. Do you think we'll put a window in it?
There's a door. You can just leave the door
Leave
open.
the door open? I guess that's
true. We do have neighbors across the valley, but it's far enough away.
I don't know, we'll see. In the winter, when the trees are bare, you can see a lot. When it's like the spring and summer, fall, and the leaves are still on the trees, it's pretty private.
Comment down below if you would put in a window or if you would just leave the door open.
It's fun to climb on. Yes, and if you fall, you land perfectly. You land perfectly.
So there, of course, is something really unique and special about mountains in the morning during the sunrise or in the evening during the sunset, especially when there's this light dusting of snow and haze, because the colors of the mountain change so rapidly from a bright orange to a blue to a purple. And I'm realizing now that the last couple of weeks, the last month, we've done a pretty terrible job of just kind of stopping and soaking in the moment and realizing and kind of envisioning what we're working towards. We've been so focused on the individual tasks of building a fence and other things that we have failed to kind of stop and take a moment to look out.
Wowzer, look at this.
It's a
Oh
big
man.
You want to try it out?
Yeah.
No.
Excuse me. Oh, there's even a bucket in there. Okay. Let's see.
You're so easy to please.
Hey, I mean, it's hard to squat out in the middle of the forest, so this is luxury. I'm all in.
Toilet!
Toilet!
So I think we're going to take all of this super blackened trim out the whole thing, and then do like a lightly darkened, like make the wood like a brownish texture through fire. Because you want it to look nice. Like, yeah, it's an outhouse, but there's no reason it can't look nice.
It's really coming together. It looks so good, and it really makes me want to build a little tiny house. Like, how cool does this little toilet house look, and how much cooler would it be if we could actually live in it?
I really like building with wood because it's easy and it comes together so fast. And I've always wanted to build a tiny house, which is part of our long-term dream, I think. I'd love to have a little tiny place where when people come to visit us, they have a place to stay, or I don't know, I just think it's fun to build things, especially out of wood. I'm a little intimidated by a stone house, but this kind of stuff is easy. My shoelaces no longer match. My goal is to learn something new every day. And last week when I was building the fence, I learned that shoelaces are highly flammable.
yes, would you like milk and sugar in it?
So it doesn't really matter what kind of projects we're doing. It really does feel like each week, every time we're moving forward, we're building something new on our property, it's an easier way for us to kind of take possession of our land and to make it feel like we're at home. So even though this week is, it's just an outhouse, it's just a toilet room that we're building, like it actually feels like we're getting more and more settled here on the property. I'm just enjoying the view.
It's not a bad spot for a toilet.
I like it.
We're so weird.
We are weird.
I tell you, we're gonna have a huge skylight.
Ooh.
The whole roof is gonna be a skylight.
Nice. I love that. Are you just not gonna put a roof on?
No, there's gonna be. You'll see.
Okay.
And then this is gonna be open, both for ventilation and for extra light. And then there's another one on the other side. The question is do we put an opening window? Because as you're sitting here, once you move the ladder, there needs to be like a little peephole so you can open the window and enjoy the view.
I think so.
I'm joking.
No, I'm not.
Tell us in the comments. Fill it up. If we get at least 200 comments saying we should do it, I'll do it next week.
What? Isn't my comment the only one that matters?
It's extra work. I think it's typically advisable not to light your house on fire after you've built it. But it's just an outhouse. The reason why is because the flame will get inside the cracks, then they'll start burning from the inside out. I'm gonna go for a light char. Is that good for you?
Yeah. So to no one's surprise, the toilet house caught on fire and Brady didn't seem to mind. He just took a phone call and then I went and got a water bottle and put it out, so
It's a little fire.
it's fine. It's fine.
I made them.
Come show me.
I made some new ones.
Wow! Those your Wolverine claws?
What?
Wolverine.
I don't know who that is.
I didn't realize there were leaves under the...
Brady! Oh my gosh! Oh my goodness. Next to a
fine.
pile of leaves.
I didn't realize there was leaves.
Rookie mistake. Oh my gosh, you're gonna set the whole thing up.
It's fine.
It's fine, it's fine. Stay back.
What is it? What is it?
Daddy caught the house on fire.
We're really responsible. It's okay.
Oh my goodness, I don't think I can put this in the video.
Who's
Did you get it?
All good. It's fine.
Let Daddy
That part's
add
still
it.
burning. I need to go get some
Please,
water.
let Daddy add it.
Well, I think it's turned out pretty well. I think it looks awesome. I'm very impressed with your work, Brady.
So I thought after we make it a bathroom, we could make it into a hideout, and then the roof, since it has wood, there would be a fence, and then we could, and then there would be a dance floor, then there would be a roof on top of the roof.
And then what are you gonna do?
We're gonna put a disco. Do 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 do.
Disco.
Got the skylight dirty. Skylight.
Nice.
So I joked about it being a high-tech composting toilet, but it kind of will be. Like there's a cool piping system, extractor fan system that's all solar powered that I'm gonna get to tomorrow. But I was like, we could actually make it high tech. We could have like a heated seat, a solar powered heated seat. That'll be like phase 2 upgrade.
Huh?
No, I mean it's cold out here. Like you want to sit on a cold seat?
I've been squatting in the grass.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe if you want to get a hammer and some nails, and we can have it as a coat rack.
So I'm not good at splitting my focus and doing multiple things at once. So whenever I build, it just becomes a huge mess. I don't have the capacity to clean as I'm building. The same goes for cooking. Like, I just make an absolute disaster and then typically just leave it until everything's finished and come back the next day to clean it up. All right, so today is day 4 of our 2-day outhouse build. And today I took all the scrap wood left over and assembled a door, burnt it again, went for that darker look, and then it fits perfectly. And then now what's left is to do, we're calling it the aeration technology for the bucket system of the Poopomatic 3000, as the kids like to call it. So what I'm going to do is take some pipe, and then I need to notch slits all the way down the pipe, put 3 of those sections into the bucket. That'll allow air to move from top to bottom, which will help with the composting process. And then I need to drill a drainage hole in the bottom of the bucket where a garden hose will hook up to that. And then on the outside, we have another section of garden hose to carry the drainage out. And then as a backup to the French drain system, to make sure that it doesn't get clogged, I've gone ahead and I've traced out a circle out of metal mesh using the angle grinder, and I've placed that, stapled it on top of a couple of scrap pieces of treated lumber so that all of the number 1 fluid kind of rolls through, which helps with the composting process, but then so that it doesn't fill up the bucket too fast, it rolls out and then fertilizes a garden bed right next to the composting outhouse, which has a fern that we're going to plant in there, which absorbs that, and the whole thing is a super natural process. And yes, the whole process is a bit gross, but in reality, it is a proper composting toilet. And if you want to be real about it, there really isn't a better system to be earth friendly. It's completely waterless, and it's just all going to turn back to dirt. And then lastly, I have to punch a hole near the top of the bucket for a 50mm tube, which will act as our vacuum. It's going to draw air out of the bucket, make sure that air is circulating throughout the bucket for the composting process. And then it's going to draw out any of the fumes that you do not want inside of the toilet house. Around the lid of the bucket, we have a large gasket so that when you lower the lid, it creates a airtight seal. And then we also have an airtight seal around the toilet itself so that when you close the lid, it creates a vacuum essentially and draws out any unwanted fumes. That fan is solar powered, which sits on top of the roof and will run all day long. And just like that, all that's left is to paint, hook up the water collection system, and it is finally finished.
You should look inside. Look inside.
Look at this. Wow, it looks so nice. Woo! Oh man.
You can go potty now.
That's fancy. I can go potty now. Thanks, Chloe. All right, see you later.
There's a lock.
Can I have some privacy, please? This is awesome. So this project may have taken us a bit longer than we had anticipated, but the Poopomatic 3000 is now ready. It's open for business. So let's take a tour. All right, so step on up into the toilet house area, and you have your toilet right here. It's nice. You do your business, and
It doesn't even need to flush.
it doesn't even need to flush. It just works for you. So, Bree did a great job making this look like an attractive space. I'm very impressed. I feel like
Do you
this
like the
reminds me, I love the skylight. We used to do wedding videos, and they sometimes had like really fancy porta potties, and this kind of reminds me of that. It's like, it's not very luxurious, but the way you do the inside, the decor makes it kind of feel a little more elevated. I love it. So once you've done your business, the number 1s actually drain out of the bucket down into this garden bed area.
Through an underground piping system there.
Yes, so it's really actually a cool setup that Brady has put up here. And the plants and the dirt and everything actually work together to purify things, and I don't know all the details, but it's actually like the safest and most hygienic way that it can be done. The solids are left in there to compost and will actually just turn to dirt. Okay, so back here we have a rainwater collection system that will actually feed our hand washing station. It's not exactly finished yet. There will be a sink here, a stainless steel sink that will actually drain off into the garden bed as well. So that will help water those flowers. Not flowers, what is that?
I don't know what it is.
A weird pokey plant. Anyway.
So for anyone who has ever done a plumbing project, it's impossible to simply go to the store one time and get all the plumbing parts that you need for a project. Naturally, I missed one thing, so we're not finished, but today is Saturday and this video technically goes out tomorrow. So Heather has her work cut out for her. Thank you so much. But we will have a small foot pump right beneath the faucet, and then a stainless steel sink, and then that will drain into the garden bed as well. So just imagine lovely shots of water coming out and a functioning sink. And then the other thing I haven't gotten yet is a big pile of sawdust from the local wood mill, because we'll put a thin layer down in the bucket, and then every time you use it, you add a small scoop, and that will help with the composting process.
The fan behind the toilet is airing out inside the toilet so it doesn't stink. At least that's what I heard.
So we actually have a solar panel set up over here that powers a fan that goes into the toilet room, and that actually helps the composting process, and it helps take out any unwanted odors. So for anyone that doesn't actually think this is luxury like we do, for a while we actually lived in a van, and we had a composting toilet that was just a toilet. It actually cost about 4 times more than this whole system that we built here, and it's definitely a gross situation. Basically, you just do your business.
It's a holding
bag it up and toss it in the trash. It's pretty disgusting. So you may notice that there is not yet a window in this door. I'm still hoping that Brady will put one in. Now, tell me if I'm crazy, but Brady was talking about how much work it would be to put in a window, and yet look at how extravagant this system is.
A skylight.
I think that we could probably manage a window. So this is why we need a window in here. It's really nice, and actually the skylight lets a lot of light in, because this is my view, but this could be my view.
So a little bit of a life update here. We are about to have to send back our car in just a couple of weeks. It never really was our car. It's a long-term lease program, which was the only possible way as a foreigner for us to get a vehicle in Italy, at least until our paperwork is finalized. So what that means is in just a couple of weeks, we are going to be without a vehicle and haven't yet figured out how to replace that. Which, if you can imagine, being as somewhat remote as we are, things like going to the grocery store become a lot more inconvenient without a car. But in the meantime, Engwe reached out and asked if they could help support us by sending one of their electric bikes, which we are extremely grateful for. So out of that gratitude, I'd love to take a minute to tell you about the bike. So this is the EP2 Pro by Engwe, which in my opinion is kind of like a cross between an electric mountain bike and an electric motorcycle. It kind of sits in its own class. It has a 13 amp hour battery that only takes about 4 hours to charge and gives you up to 74 miles of range, or unlimited miles if you're pedaling. The 960 watt motor powers the back tire, which gives it a surprising amount of torque, enough to take us up the steep hill to our house, and has a terrifyingly fast top speed, and yes, I know I need to get a helmet. The all-terrain fat tires and heavy suspension makes it perfect for off-roading or going over rocky trails, or just for a comfortable ride on pavement. And the whole thing folds flat to fit into a car trunk. Thank you so much, Engwe, for reaching out and supporting us. If you guys are interested in something like this, there is a link in the description below, and they are running a big sale this week. But that's about going to do it for us. Thank you so much for watching and spending part of your day with us. We really appreciate having you guys. And next week, we're going to be installing our solar panels, so we cannot wait to share that video with you guys next week.